past couple of days, I've been running around getting things done regarding my son's ADHD. I spoke with a doctor and we had a Zoom meeting so that we could make arrangements for medication and other things that were necessary, I feel, to help him through this stage of his life being a teenager. So with that, I had to go to NHF, which is a health fund, and I had to deal with pharmacies. I ended up at the tax office. It was really a long process, tiring, and I realized that a lot of people, though they're working in these government places or they're working in these pharmacies, they don't know what they should. And no one wants to say, I don't know. Everybody's going to tell you, okay, this is not the way it is. This is what you're supposed to do. And if you don't question it, you're going to end up being frustrated and you're going to end up giving up. But you should always be secure in yourself, ask questions, make them ask questions and find out. Because I've realized that people don't like to say, I don't know what you're supposed to do, and I'm going to ask somebody. I'm going to ask somebody above me, or I'm going to ask somebody here that does know. They're just going to tell you, oh, what you said is wrong, and no, we don't do that. And if you don't step up, if you don't look out for yourself, you're going to end up giving up and paying for things that you shouldn't pay for. Now, first of all, I got a prescription through the drug serve, so that it's discounted, and sometimes you don't have to pay for the medication. Because right now I don't have insurance. With COVID, people have been made redundant, money's not coming in. So I got that, and I was told that I should go to the NHF to get a card so that I could go to the pharmacy and get his prescription. Went to the NHF, they're telling me that what the doctor wrote is not right, they don't do that, they don't pay for that, they don't have that drug, which I've done my research and they don't have that drug, but they do have generic drugs that are similar to it. So the guy told me, you need a TRN. First he told me you need a TRN. So I run off and go to the tax office. Yeah, the tax office was 4 to 5 hours. I got there after 11 to 12. There were people there from 9 o'clock. When I got there, they were still there. I was there until I left after 4. Now, Jamaican people are fun. So there was a lot of laughing, a lot of talking, a lot of complaining about the workers, because there were people who were paying taxes and doing other things at the tax office that the line is outside. So we're kind of bundled up outside, because if you're too far, you can't hear what the security is telling you. You can't hear the instructions. So you don't know what's going on. So there's no distancing, because if you distance, you get no information. We're standing there, everybody's from all other departments are going through, getting their business done, and everybody for TRN, for new TRN, which is a number like a social security, we're just standing there. Now these people have been there from 9 o'clock. I just got here at 11, which they say everything happens for a reason, because though I stood there for at least 2 to going 3 hours, I wasn't there from 9 o'clock. So eventually the line starts to move, because they give us all a number, and people, tussling or whatever. And I noticed that people have passport size pictures with their birth certificate for whoever it is that they're getting the TRN. Now I walk with papers all the time, so I had his birth certificate on me because I figured they were going to need it. But I didn't have the picture. So I say to the lady in front of me, I don't have this picture. She's like, don't come out the line. The line is moving. Go inside, talk to them, and if anything, maybe you can come back tomorrow. They can finish the process tomorrow. which is a good thing. Because while I'm inside, I realize that there's people there with ID, with government IDs, that are doing in the process. They don't have to get a JP to sign anything. They don't have to have the two pictures. And I have his disabilities card. So eventually I get through with the disabilities card. By this time, it's 4:30. Everybody else is closed. I can't go back to the NHL. So yesterday, I go back to the NHF early morning, and I get there, and the man is like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that it was ADHD. We don't cover that. But it's a good thing you got the TRN." So I said to him, "The doctor says that you're supposed to give me a card. I'm gonna get some money, put some money on my phone, and call the doctor." I leave and I go to the pharmacy. I said, "Let me ask the pharmacist if there's a discount for having the disabilities card." This lady looks at me like I'm crazy, and she says, "We don't have disability card. Only in America them have disability card. I don't sure know anything about that." I'm like, "Lady." So I go in the bag and I take out the card and I show her, and I said, "It's a government issue card. We have a disability card. We have a whole department." She looks so confused. So I'm telling you that even though people working in government, working in pharmacies, working in all these places, there are things that they don't know. There are things that they're not telling people. So I talked to the doctor on the phone, and he sends me back over to the office. So it's a good thing I didn't leave. I go back over to the office and I say to him, "The doctor says the drugs serve," excuse my alarm. The doctor says the drug serve says that he's to get a card. You fill it out. He calls the drug serve. Why he didn't call the drug serve before, I don't know. He calls the drug serve and they say, "We have the generic brand. So we have the drug." He says to me, "Okay, go and sit down." So I figure, oh, I'm going to get a card, right? No. So I go and sit down. I'm sitting there for 15, 20 minutes. I'm watching people get cards because it only takes about 10, 15 minutes to get a card. 20 minutes pass. He's not calling me back. I stick my head in and I'm like, "I'm still here." And he's like, "Oh, come." And then he looks at me and he goes, "Oh, you don't need a card. You can just go to the pharmacy." Really? So I'm sitting there for 15, 20, half an hour. I wasted 20 minutes across the street. I've wasted an hour or more at this place when you could have just told me you can just go straight to the drug serve. Now the drug serve is like a public pharmacy, which means everybody who's getting a discount is going to be there. There's going to be a line. Drive down to the drug serve. There's a line. You drop off your prescription. It actually didn't take that long because there weren't that many people at that time. They say come back at 1:45. So I'm like, okay, leave, come back at 1:45. No parking. There's a line. People are ignorant. They've been there for hours. People have been there, they said, in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. When I left, they've been standing there. They're complaining that they're not getting through. But like I say, everything happens for a reason. Because when I get there, I'm there for about 30 minutes and the line starts to move. Somebody's complaining that they told them to come back. They were there the day before. They said everybody's to come back the day after. When I went there in the morning, they said to come back at 1:45. So I keep my mouth shut and I just go in. When I get in, I forgot. When I went in to give them the prescription, the young lady behind the counter tells me they don't have the drug. And she's like, showing me a way. "Okay, we don't have the drug." I said, NHF called and said that they have the drug and the doctor and the NHF sent me here. She's like, "When?" I'm like, "Just a while ago. I'm driving straight from there." She tells me to hold on. I go and I sit and I wait, and then she calls me back and she says, "Oh, we have the drug." This is what I cannot deal with. That's three different places that if I followed what they said to me, I would have gave up and tried to spend money that I did not have to pay for a drug that I could have gotten discounted or at a free cost. Go inside, finally, I get the drug. It's a long wait. There's people there. There's a lot of people. There's a drop off, and there's also an app. The NHF has an app that you can load your prescriptions, and then you can get a notification to pick up. The problem is the app is not working. I've been trying to get on the app. I get error messages that they said it's their problem and they're sorry. So you're gonna end up in line because, like some of the local or the government-based websites or the apps, they have issues. They're having issues with them. I have no idea why. So it's supposed to be convenient, but that part is not because only some people are getting through. But the main thing is that now I have the drug. I have Concerta that he's gonna be. We're gonna see how that's working out with the Concerta. But my issue is if you're working somewhere and you don't know something. I really would love if I don't know about anywhere else. I would really love if Jamaican people who are in positions would not act like they know everything. And when you try to get information, it would be helpful if they would just say, okay, I'm not sure about this. Let me ask somebody above me or somebody who has to do with this if this is the way it's supposed to work. Instead of looking at me and telling me that I'm wrong and we don't do this and we don't have this and then dismissing the person because you end up learning something. They end up learning something about their job that they didn't know before because they don't know everything. There's a lot of information that is kept, and people feel that when they get things that benefit them, a drug serve that can help you pay for a drug that you can't afford, people don't want to let other people know. You know? They don't want to share information. They're not gonna go out and make it benefit somebody else. As if benefiting somebody else is gonna stop you from getting what you're supposed to get. And that's something that I can't deal with, something that I don't do. If there are things that I think are gonna benefit people that I know, whether or not it has anything to do with me, I'm putting the information out. I'm calling people. I'm putting it on my WhatsApp. There's a job up for something. It's not a job that I can do, but it's a job that maybe somebody else that I know or somebody that my friend knew would be able to do. And I don't understand why people are like that. So that's where we are. And I really had to do a video to speak on it. If it can benefit somebody else, maybe they can check out how to get a prescription from the drug serve. I think if you're in the probably at the public hospitals or the clinics, which it takes a lot of time because there's a lot of people and you're going to be there for hours, but it's going to benefit. It's going to benefit you if you can't manage what's going on right now with the corona and people not having the money and the insurance. And if there are things that are put in place to benefit Jamaican people, they should know. They should know there's a disabilities office. They should know that certain drugs you can get on the drug serve, but it's the generic brand. Ask for it. You have to investigate. You have to look into these things. You have to be an advocate for your child. You have to be an advocate for yourself. And be strong. I had the gentleman at the NHF say to me if I want to get another diagnosis for my child, because obviously the ADHD diagnosis cannot be correct. I told him it's okay. It's okay. He has ADHD. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and everybody keep safe.